Hi everyone, Paul from Manchester Scale Modeller. Welcome to part 8 of the Great Wall Hobby F-15 build. Sorry there's been such a huge gap between the video builds. Life's got in the way. I became a dad and the time has just flown by ridiculously fast. But we're back today. We're going to get some paintwork, weathering done, panel fading, bit of bleaching, bit of post shading, try and make this thing look a bit more interesting than the two bland colours we've got here. Now, last time you saw me do the camo pattern using the light FS 36251 and my interpretation of dark grey, which was AN8 621. I'm going to start with the dark one today. What I'm going to do, I'm going to show you panel fading, a little bit of bleaching, not necessarily the post shading yet, we'll do that at the end. I'm going to show you on the darker grey because it's quite hard to pick up on the camera on the light grey. So I'm going to do it on the darker grey, do a little bit, come back when it's done, blah blah blah, and I'll do the light grey at the same time. Now, remember last time we used this ACAM paint, ANA621, I darkened a little bit with black, so I'm hoping using it straight out the bottle it'll be slightly lighter and it'll allow us to do the panel fading. Fingers crossed, that's the plan anyway. Got my harder steam back with 0.2 needle in, I've mixed the paint, give it a good shake. We're going to pop a little bit in our colour cup. Like so. I'm going to pop that there, we're going to pop the lid back on. We're going to thin it, I'm just going to put a splash of UMP thinner in there. Not a lot, not a lot, not a lot at all. And then we give it a good stir. Using a Tammy paint stirrer. Pressure on the compressor is at 24 psi. I've got my fine pressure control valve turned down a bit, so I would say we're at about 15. Just going to pull the paint through, and as you can see we're getting nice fine lines, no splattering. Does sound as though the paint needs thinning a little bit more, but to be honest I'm more than happy with that. What we're going to do, we're going to try it on one of these elevators at the back, the same way we did last time. So we're going to take one of those off, just going to pop that up out of the way to save it down. I'm just going to pop the booth on, which I've just put the plane right in the way of. There we go. May notice my spray booth changed a little bit. I've now got a much bigger working area, some foam board backing, both sides, shelf one side, much usable now, hell of a lot better. So, as you can see, I'm going to pull the camera over a little bit this way so I can see a bit better. Just pull that back. There we go. We'll zoom in a little bit too, I think. As you can see, there's our camera pattern. Now, how well this is going to show up on camera, I do not know, and that paint definitely needs thinning just a tad more. So what we're going to do, pop it in, backflow it, you can see the bubbles we get. Reduce that pressure just a tad. And so that does, so what we're looking for is panel lines, so I'm just going to go right in the middle of there, try and hold you guys in shot. What we want to see, we can get a lighter paint effect. So I've got the trigger fairly pulled back, there's a minimum of paint coming out. So what I'm looking for is anywhere where there's a panel line, which there isn't many of on these sections. Just going to put a faded paint in, then we're going to come back, add some random shapes. We'll put that to one side, we'll do the other one, let them dry, I'll see what it looks like, and if I like it we'll carry on with the rest, and if I don't I'll lighten it up a tad and then do it. All we want is a slight tonal variation between the base colour and what we've already got down, what we're going to put down now. So, same again, pick your panel, make sure you're in. Try not to spray too thick. Like that, that's what we don't want. Certainly don't want that. Oh my god, my spraying's terrible today. A little bit out of practice. It's been not the best one for modelling. So there we go, there's both of those done. Let's get this one back. And for me, I don't know if you can see that there, guys. I'm not sure what we're picking up, to be honest. Not too bad to me. So what we might do actually, while we're here, we'll just try a very quick section of the aircraft to make sure I am totally happy with what we've got, because we do have actual panel lines on here. So I'm going to zoom out a bit because the lens doesn't fit in. Turn her a bit and we'll get this one here. So we do have actual panel lines here. There we go, that's looking quite well. So a few more panels. You can see those lighting panels now. I'm quite happy with them. So there we go, there's that one panel done. It's not too bad. I'm definitely out of practice with the old airbrushing. I've not really airbrushed anything for about 6 weeks now, since the little fella arrived, so my airbrushing skills need to pick up again. But gives the effect I want, fade the panels, then come back with the bleaching effects, which will be a darker effect, squiggled over the top, and then we'll come back with post shading and see how it looks. So I'll go around, do the rest of this panel fading, I'll do the lighter grey panel fade, and we'll come back and we'll have a look at some bleaching effects. Okay, there we go, there's all the panel fading done. You can see the effect on camera just there, so we need to tile that in now with some bleaching and then post shading, just to get it to look all uniform and not random. Now what I've done, I've quickly tested the darker colours. I've got a darker shade of that grey, so I've added a bit of bleaching to that, a bit of post shading, quite hard to see but it is there. Same on this one too. A little bit over exaggerated on that one, but we can sort that out, that's no problem. Like I say, we just added a little bit of black to this grey now, and I'll just show you on one section of the wing. So where we've got all these panel fading, where we've got this entire darker grey, we're going to do random figures of 8. Nice thin ones. Here, there. Everywhere. Just try and tie these colours together a bit. Obviously don't go outside the colour when it's darker. Carry on along everywhere you've got that darker grey. We're going over light then, come back in a bit more purposeful now. Just doing small random figures of 8, S shapes, etc. It's tied in the colour a little bit. Like I say, it's quite hard to see, but the effect is there. Now, what we'll try is a little bit of post shading with that darker colour. Obviously, you've got to make sure you're thinned enough. Perfect. That colour is pretty much spot on. It's a case of everywhere you post shaded, sorry, you pre-shaded, you now need to post shade. Start seeing the effect we get there now. So I'll carry on with this. I'll go around the entire part of that darker grey and we'll come back once it's done. Okay, there we go, there's all the paint effects done. Very tedious, very boring. I need to sharpen up on my skills. I haven't airbrushed properly for nearly 6 weeks with one thing and another. Certainly not in detail work like post shading, panel fading, bleaching, etc. So my airbrushing skills are a bit lacking today, so not as good as I hoped it'd be, but we've certainly got a worn, weathered look. We've got fading, we've got a bit of bleaching on there as well. Haven't done underneath yet, I'll tackle that at a later date. The pre-shading showing through nicely underneath, luckily. So we've got part way there done on that. So as you can see, we can see the panel fading. You see it more on this grey, it's hard to see on the light grey, but you can see the panel fading. We've got random effects all the way through. And what we're going to do now is we're going to post shade with a little bit of Tamiya smoke. So the airbrush is loaded up, as you can see. Hopefully we haven't got a blockage or a dried needle. There we go. So Tamiya smoke, thin, about 50-50 with UMP thinner. What I'm going to do, I'm just going to prop the aircraft up with the thinner, which will hopefully allow me to concentrate. Let's prop the front up too on getting these panel lines done. Now you may not be able to see a lot while I'm doing this, because I need to see what I'm doing. I've got a little bit of needle to dry, because I put the airbrush down for a couple of minutes. There we are. So very important when you're doing stuff like this, come back round, make sure that you give it a good clean through every now and then, and get rid of that needle blockage, because it does happen. So all we're going to do now is exactly what we did when we were pre-shading. Just coming in with the smoke. We're doing one pass over, we're not coming back as it makes it too heavy. I use this effect on my Hobby Boss ME262 that I did for Night Fighter SIG. And I did do it a little bit heavy the first time round, so trying to pay attention to be a bit more subtle this time. Which is easier said than done. So I'm just going to show a little bit of it done, and then I'll do the rest off camera because I need to lean forward and my head is right in the way. Sorry, the camera is right in the way where my head needs to be. So the thing with Tammy smoke, if you do this, stop. If you think it's too little, just stop, let it dry, have a look. Because it can often not look as prominent as it actually is. So rather than going ahead and thinking, oh, that's not dark enough, I'll put a shed load on, just stop, have a little look, and take it from there. Certainly I do no more than 2 passes over any one area because it does really make it stand out, and to me that's a tad heavy, but we shall have a look. You can see the effect there anyway on that darker grey on the left hand wing. So I can always play that, knock that back a little bit with a bit of the original colour paint until I'm happy with it. But what I'll do is I'll carry on around the aircraft, I'll do a bit of a lighter coat this time, and we'll come back when it's done. Okay, there we go. After a few hours work, we're all done. Post shaded with the smoke. It was too heavy, as you saw when we first got started, so I went over the whole aircraft. Then using the base colours again, I've gone over, lightly dusted where we are, and I've got a happy medium. The camera's not showing it great, but I'm happy with it. We've got fading, we've got bleaching, we've got post shading, we've got different tones of paint all around, so I'm happy with that. Hopefully it's not going to look too boring once it's done. With it being a light grey, the post shading just looked really prominent with the smoke. Smoke works very well. I think it needs to be a darker colour for it to work well enough though. But there we go. I haven't done underneath yet, so I'll do that off camera. I'll then gloss it and we'll make a start on the decals. So the next time you'll see me, we'll be over at the other bench and we'll start the decaling process. So I'll get this all pre-shaded underneath, etc. Then I'll give it a clear coat. A couple of days later we'll come back and put some decals on. Okay, so time's progressed a little bit since that last segment you saw. That was probably filmed about a month ago. I plan to continue this after we come back from Telford Scale Model World, but I had a huge mouth abscess and it stopped me continuing with this, and then other bits of life got in the way and it's just taken its toll on my time throughout the day. The last bit you saw, we were using both shades of the ACAN paints. Now, when I did it, I wasn't 100% happy with the tone on the second part of the camo. I also wasn't happy with the paint effects it got as well. I tried to adjust it a little bit, and they went from being not very noticeable to far too noticeable. So I made the decision there and then to scrap it, start again, and I did. So what I did, I completely resprayed the aircraft with the ACAN FS 36251 grey. I then pre-shaded, post-shaded, bleached, panel faded, all that before we did the top coat, because in the video you notice I did it the other way. I put both colours down and then did the rest of the effects, so I found that made that a little bit easier. I then changed the second colour to from the ACAN, I think it was ANA 621 something, to the proper FS of the FS colour 36176, which I had in live colour. Now, not really sprayed live colour that much before, on and off I have, so I was a little bit dubious of using it, but mixing that with a little bit of UMP thinner, 30%, it sprayed absolutely beautifully, and that's the second colour you can see. Now it's a bluey grey, and as you can see, there she is. So I think it looks a lot better than the other colour, personally. So I'm glad I took the time. There's a few effects now which you can see. You can see the bleaching, the panel fade, and the post shading. That's been done all around. Underneath are the same. We've also painted the wheel wells. We've painted the heat shields at the back, top and bottom. We gloss coated it. I then decaled it, which there weren't that many to do. As you can see, they went down quite well, especially using the Walther's solver set, which I started using. They went down beautifully. It was then clear coated again in anticipation for today. Now I didn't show the decal because it's very boring watching it. You've seen me do it before. If you haven't, go watch the Techniques guys and my 109 videos where I showed decal in there. The only thing that's changed there, rather than using the micro sol, I now use the Walther's solver set, which is a lot more powerful setting solution, and it just absolutely flattens those decals down like you wouldn't believe. So that's the same. So if you want to see that, go watch that video. Clear coating, you've seen a million times before, and obviously just masking off and painted those. They were done with Alcalad Duraluminum, I think it was, and I will maybe do other effects to that. I'm not sure what to do yet. We'll see how this wash turns out, and obviously the wheel wells were masked and painted in Tamiya XF2. Now, what we're going to do today is the panel fade, my God, it's on my brain. The panel wash using the Ultimate Modelling Weathering Wash, Dark Dirt. So what I've done, I've just decanted a little bit into a cup, which I'm going to just give a quick spill around. And I will admit, last night I was curious to see how it would work, so I did test it on a little bit. If I can get this to focus, you can see here all these recesses and the rivets and the panel lines. Well, I quickly tested last night because some of this riveting, especially here, which you can see on my post shading, is very, very fine. And I just wanted to see how prominent it was, and if it's going to be too prominent with this wash, I would have oil washed it. And in other areas, some of the rivets aren't as prominent as they could be. They're not as prominent as these bigger ones like you can see here, but they're here on the leading edges. So I just want to see how it looked. It came out okay. Not completely removing it has left a nice dirty look to that wing, and once that's flat coated, it's going to look absolutely amazing. So that's it. So what we'll do now is going to quickly run over a little bit of the putting the wash down, and just remember to put it underneath as well. You can see it quite under there as well. We tried it underneath on the wing, just see how it looked. I just spotted the wash, I forgot to put it there. And that's it really. So like I say, it's been about a month between this part and the last part that you've just watched. I was going to refilm it, showing these colours being sprayed, but I had about 25 minutes of footage on 2 different cameras, and I thought, why waste that and refilm it all, because that took me 7 hours, and this took me probably not far off the same, doing all this paint work, and it was a lot of time to waste. So I thought I'll reuse that and then come back and just tell you, look, I've changed it. So the technique was exactly the same, bar the fact I did 1 coat of paint, the lighter 36251 first, did all the paint effects to that, then I came back and did the 36176 and the paint effects to that. Then I did them separately rather than trying to work around it, which is what I think I found the problem was last time. I'm fairly new to jets. This is probably my third, is it? Let me just, fourth. This is my 4th modern jet I've ever made. So I'm not perfect on these just yet, and getting there. And my next project is a Trumpeter 132 SU30, which is huge. I mean, this is big and 48th. You're talking easy twice as long, so that's my next major build. So I do apologise for the big gap, but obviously one thing got in the way with becoming a father, you know, 2-3 months ago. That's taken a lot of my time up, and obviously Lee went away, lost his broadband, I wasn't too well for a bit. So hopefully we're back at it. What we're going to do, we're just going to put this wash on. I'll show it going down. I'll do the rest of it off camera. We'll let it dry, we'll come back, take it off, show it coming off, and then off camera we'll get the next clear coat down, which will be a matte coat, and then I've got the landing gear, what have you, behind me, but we'll get to that in a minute after the wash is done. So I'll show this going down, and I'll show you the rest of the stuff we've got to go with it. So like I say, Ultimate Modelling Dark Dirt Wash, shake it up well, always decant it a generous amount into a tub, an old lid, whatever you've got, just to save you contaminating the bottle. If you use a brush like I do, I've got brushes here, there and everywhere. I mean, that one says oil on it, and I was about to use that, so we won't use that one, I don't think. We'll find something different. That one might do us. Sure, I left one out, but maybe I didn't. Unless it was that bugger. No, that one's rock hard. So yeah, that's what I mean, it pays to look. If I'd have put that in there, I'd have contaminated that wash, put it back in with the other lot and ruin the lot. So always put it in a separate tub. Once you've used it, throw it away, don't pour it back in the bottle, because you want to make sure whatever's been on that brush doesn't go back into your full bottle. So what we'll do, we'll start on this other part of the wing. I'm going to add a little bit more to that bit actually, because there's a few smaller rivets there I want to see if I can get with a second wash. I won't notice next time. So as always, got to go on a gloss coat. If it doesn't go on a gloss coat, it's not going to come back off and you're in trouble. You can use that to your advantage, weathering, if you want to keep it in certain places. 99% of the time, put a gloss coat down or you can't remove the excess wash. Be warned about that. It's a costly mistake if you do it. Trust me. Now, generous amount on your brush. Nice wide flat brush. Could have probably done one a little bit wider. But for the purpose of this, it's no drama at all. Like I say, we'll let this dry. Come back, I'll show you how easy it is to remove. And what I want to do, I don't want pristine condition on this, so it's a well-used aircraft. So when we're taking it off, we don't want to remove every single bit of it. So that will leave a nice warm look to it, but it is simply that. All over the aircraft, quite generous, not a stupid amount, you know, so it's here, there and everywhere, but just a generous amount everywhere you can. But like I say, it's got to go on a gloss coat or it will not come back off. But there you go. So you then let that dry for 30 minutes, 45 minutes, until it's completely hazed over, it's completely bone dry. You come back with your damp kitchen towel, take it off, do it in the flow of airflow, and that should leave streaking, which is what I'm hoping we can leave behind, but we'll see. So I'm going to continue with this off camera. We'll come back when it's all dried and we'll see what happens then. Okay, there we go. There's the F-15 fully covered in the dark dirt UMP wash. It's over there, stood up, drying, as you can see, absolutely filthy, covered in the wash. That's going to take another half an hour or so to dry. In the meantime, a couple of things to show you. Number one is everything I've left to do on the aircraft. So in here we've got the landing gear, front and rear struts, front and rear tyres, landing gear bay doors, and the ordnance, which on this is 3 fuel tanks and 4 Sparrow missiles, if I remember right. So they're all cleaned up, tidied up, glued together. There's a little bit of filling needed on these fuel tanks on the seam because didn't quite get it with the glue. Everything needs priming, spraying in the appropriate colour, a few decals here and there, and that's that done. So that's no big deal. So that'll all be done off camera. No point showing me spraying little parts because it's just boring and monotonous. The other thing which I'm going to show you, and I'm going to don a rubber glove. Have to pardon me, it's not an inspection. It's just something I really don't want all over my hand, if I can help it, by tearing the glove. It doesn't matter because I just need it on my fingers, so it's no drama. What we got is the burner cans for the F-15. Now you may remember I did these in the Mr. Hobby. I can grab the bottle if I can find it. There she is. Mr. Hobby metal colour buffable 214 dark iron. We sprayed that ages ago and I've been dying to see it. So there's one all sprayed up. As you can see, there's 2 parts in there. You got the inner and the outer. So sprayed up Mr. Hobby, that's how they look. They need buffing off to remove it all so you can see what you're actually looking at. And what we're looking at, let's get rid of that glove because it's annoying me, is that's what you're left with. So that's it after it's buffed. Still 2 parts, still separate, but that sits in there. Now what you can see is some of the recesses remove the top layer of paint and you get the shine, and others leave it in there. So you get a mixture of shiny and this dark, and I think the effect is absolutely astounding, really good. What what else I'll do to this I don't know, but what it needs sealing in. So when these are both done, I'll let them dry fully for a couple of days. We'll then clear coat them, paint the inside. Your appropriate colour should be off-white. Give it a good wash inside, and I may try and add like a light blue wash to give it that kind of bluey look to it. I'm not sure yet, but you can see the effect, and it is really it's just amazing stuff. Really is good. So to get the effect, what you need is, I'll just move that out of the way. The reason I've got the glove on is because the particles of this will stick to your finger and end up everywhere for days. So although I'm going to use one finger to buff it off, I know it's on there. I'm not going to go pick the F-15 up in a minute and get fingerprints all over it, because there's it leaves fingerprints like nobody's business. So we take that off, and I'll quickly show how we do it. So the way I do it is using a fingertip, a cotton bud, and if I grab a bit of kitchen roll as well. So there's 3 ways to do it. The main way I'll do it normally is grab the whole nozzle, pop in the kitchen roll, lightly hold it, and just lightly spin it around. Hopefully this will show an effect straight away, which it does. You can see where it's taking up most of the top. I'll then come in with my finger, which seems to make it a little bit more shiny. Again, as you can see, and then finally we come with the cotton bud, and we'll get right into all these recesses. So if you look, you see the shine, 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 and no shine. So I haven't done that bit, and if I just do that bit quickly, there's the shine. So kitchen towel gets into certain places your finger can't get, the finger gets into places the kitchen towel can't get, and the cotton bud gets into the other. So you end up with different tones here, there, everywhere, which is just what we want, because that's what gives it its impressive appearance. So like I say, finger, then the kitchen towel, and finally the cotton bud gets right in. So all those little cracks and crevices, and that's what gives you that wonderful tonal variation as you go. And as you can see, the effect is absolutely astounding. For £3 a tin, or a bottle should I say, that paint, it's quite difficult to get a hold of in the UK, unfortunately, and Dart there is always the one that sells out first. There was a shortage of it quite a while ago, and I had to order a few bottles from France. Then it came back in stock in the UK, and I made the most of it. I think I bought about 6 bottles at the time, because you do go through quite a lot. You don't thin it out the bottle, so you do go through it quite a lot, and it does need a few coats, because otherwise when you're buffing it up, you'll go straight through to bare plastic, because you don't prime this. You see me paint it in the last one, in part 7. You need a few coats, and you just got to airbrush it on, no primer, no thinning, straight on. It really is that simple. Keep the cotton buds clean, don't you keep using the same one, because you're trying to buff it off, so you don't want it covered in the buffable. And like I say, aim for all these places where there's different areas, different levels, because that's what really makes it stand out, is when you've got different tonal variation here, there and everywhere. Like I say, it's not that hard to do. The effect is outstanding, I think. So once you've done that, just get round the rim, everywhere. We should get all around the top. Then this edge here, which is this side here, we'll do that. A little bit of kitchen towel, just spin it, just gentle, there's no pressure in there, because that'll take the paint right off otherwise. And there we go. And then finally, come in with your finger if you want to get a polish. I don't think you can see that part anyway, but it just adds to continuity. Then all round. Job done. So there's 2 done now, virtually identical, absolutely superb. And then the case of this part, I did the cotton, sorry, not cotton, the kitchen towel around this rim. Pardon the puns. Always something funny when you say rim. Just just my sick twisted mind. But there you go, you can see the effect. Just there off the cotton bud. If I zoom in a little bit just so you can see this bit. Ooh, that's a bit too much. There we go, make sure we're focused. So I pick a real dark part like that. Make it a good buff up. You can see that effect taking shape. Now I have used the the Model Master buffables, and I don't think they're anywhere near as good as this. They're certainly not as easy to use and take a lot more buffing, and I don't think the effect is as good, to be honest. I much prefer the Mr. Hobbies. So there's that. And then it's a case of in we come with each one. You see just how easy that comes off. If I get it in camera, you will anyway. You can see just how easy that comes off. Doesn't need a whole lot of buffing. Job done. And then we'll get in between each one of these. And like I say, it's the places where you don't buff it off that give the real tonal variation, and it really starts to show its stuff in. Because I don't think it's necessarily the shine that makes it look good. If I'm going on a shot, I do apologise. I don't think it's the shine that makes it look good. I think it's the tonal variation between the bits you've buffed and the bits you haven't buffed. Obviously the shine adds to it, don't get me wrong. But like I said, I think it's the it's that tonal variation. Now, excuse my finger inside because these are quite delicate parts. I don't be running a kitchen towel in there because it'll snag it. And there we go, that should be identical to that, which it is. Probably a little bit shinier there actually. Whether we can get any shinier, I don't know. Finger's great. Like I say, if you do use your finger, sorry I'm out of shot again, let's widen this up a bit. Not quite set up properly tonight, the camera's a little bit far forward. So that's all I was doing, just running my finger around, trying to just buff that up a little bit. Like I say, I found the finger probably the best buffer of them all. Don't know why. Just the texture of the finger seems to work very well on it. Currently sat here in a hangout with all the guys on Google Plus. There's about 6 or 7 of us in here chatting away. They're all on mute, so they can't hear me and I can't hear them. But once to get this done tonight, and the hangouts are great for doing modelling in, because you can just sit there, have a chat, have a laugh, have a drink if you're that way inclined, and just sit there and have a laugh with all the guys. So they're all modelling away. I'm going to show quickly up with this wash removed, and I'm going to go join them and crack on, get the rest of it done. There you go, I think that's a stunning effect. Not much more need to do to that. You need to clear coat, and I'll let that dry for a couple of days. Seal it in so I'm not getting any more of the particles off. Paint inside, and I might just try adding a light blue wash in places and see what it looks like. I'll try it first and we'll see, but we'll get back to these later. They just get stuck in the back. We've got no engine, so they're going to need proper placement at the rear, but they're both done and they're ready. So that's that. So I'm going to just quickly lose that glove. I'm going to quickly clean my finger. Like I say, it is terrible for leaving fingerprints, so just make sure you wear gloves if possible, and obviously you need a finger free to buff it if you're doing that. But I think that stuff is phenomenal stuff to use. Right, so we need a little bit of water, which we're just going to pull it on the desk and make sure I'm zoomed right out, which we are. A little bit of water. I'm just going to show very quickly. Actually still a little bit wet underneath, but I'll show this now because we are dry on top. I'm just going to show it on this wing here. The way to use it, dip it in the water. You don't want it absolutely soaking wet, you just want it enough to get the wash off. As always, you put this stuff on, you think, oh my god, what have I done? But then you take it off and you think, wow, that's an amazing effect. Like I say, you need to turn your paper or lock, as you can see there, getting clogged up for the wash. Just re-wet it. Like I said, I don't want to get all of it off. We're going for that streaky look. So we don't want to go mental and lose all the wash. A little bit more kitchen roll, a little bit more water. Just tidy this wing up. I'll let it fully dry because underneath still a tad wet. And then we'll come back once it's fully dried. And a tad of matte coat. Well, in fact, what we'll do actually, we'll probably come back next time, because that means I can get this video done, edited, sent to Lee, and he can upload it. Job done. So there we go. Like I say, some of the riveting is quite, not vague, but it's very, very subtle. So it's not all going to show up, but the main places where I wanted it, which is all on the edge there, you can see it. It just stands out. All the panel lines, the larger the rivets. Like I say, I don't remove it all, so the last few bits with a damp towel, we're just dragging it backwards. It adds a little bit of streaking. So there we go. So like I say, it's still a little bit wet underneath, as you can see. So I'm going to fully let that dry. We'll remove it all. Once it's all off and it's dry for a day or so, I'll clear coat it with AK's Ultra Matte varnish, which is quite new to me, and I think it's outstanding stuff. And then we'll come back for part 9, which will be the final part. I got all the ordnance done off camera. We're going to filled, painted, all the landing gear, and basically we'll come back to final assembly, which will be unmasking the cockpit. A few touch-ups here and there on the paintwork, a few lights need adding, there's a few sensors and what have you need adding, and we'll come back and we'll all be done the next part, all ready for the next project, which I'm not sure 100% what it's going to be, but we'll pick something and we'll see. Okay, so I'm just going to interrupt this a little bit because I said I'd finished for today, but I haven't. Just managed to get all the wash off, press out looks, so I'll come back, show you how it's looking just before we go off for the day, and I'll probably stitch this between that last bit of film that I did. So here's the F-15, all the wash has been removed now. It's looking absolutely brilliant. We've got various stains here and there, basically where the clear coat hasn't taken as much or as well, and that's great because that leaves random stains all over the paintwork. Then so we get the white bounce back there a little bit. That leaves random marks and stains here and there. The burner cans are both on. They're literally on there very loose, but you can see the effect that you get there, which is absolutely fantastic. As you can see, still loose there, so then they'll fall off. Underneath, the wash has gone down beautifully. Really shows off all those panel lines and all the details and everything. The wheel wells still need a wash in there. I'll sort that out. That'll probably be an oil wash, to be honest, just to get the real grimy look. And as you can see, all on the front, really popped everywhere. I'm well impressed, and like I say, it has given that grimy effect. I don't like my aircraft overly weathered, but I did want this to have a weathered look to it, but I'm more than happy with that. So there we go, so that's it, all weathered. It's ready for a matte coat. Then we can get going with the landing gear, the ordnance, attach the burners. Like I say, I might put a blue wash in there, see how that goes, and we can really get this wrapped up and finished in the next part. So there you go. Okay, you've just seen it, where the wash had all been removed. It was ready for its clear coat. I was going to video there, sat there on the hangout talking to the guys and thought, you know what, soddy, let's crack on. So I matte coated it with the AK Ultra Matte Varnish, which has gone down an absolute treat, as it always does. And I unmasked the canopy, which is always quite a nerve-wracking part. You're always thinking, oh, I've had a bit of bleed through, has it gone wrong? No, not a problem at all. Tiny little bleed through at the back, which I just removed with a cocktail stick by just running it around the edge of the canopy. Everywhere else, virtually perfect, so very, very happy with that. The matte coat has gone down really, really well. I'm a big fan of that AK Interactive stuff. It is absolutely superb. It really does a good job of dulling down paintwork. Even the alclad on the back, which was alclad aluminium rather, it's really toned it down. Still got a shine, still looks metallic, but it's really toned down that shine. Underneath is beautifully matte, ready for those landing gear bays to be weathered, and just on top, I am well and truly impressed by that. As you can see, it's flatter than a flat thing, and just what I wanted. Absolutely superb. Canopy, I'm not 100% sure how I'm going to have this. I do have an ever such a slight lift at the front, probably something I've done, but as you can see, nice and clear. The masking's nice and sharp on it. There's been no problems there at all, and the clarity's nice. Hasn't been dipped. I don't dip my canopies. As you can see, it's still nice and clear, and you can see right into that cockpit. I'm not sure what you can see on the camera, but through the naked eye you can see all that nice detail we put in, all the dry brushing. The seats look absolutely superb, so I'm well and truly impressed and happy with this. So again, another step closer. Like I said, I thought I was going to leave that last segment, and I thought, you know what, I put the pictures up on Facebook and I thought, oh, let's get it done. Let's get the matte code down and progress on. So when we come back next time, these are in the process of being filled. I did this last night. They were sanded. I added a bit of super glue in there as filler because it's the quickest way to do it. They'll be all painted up ready. A little bit of weathering. The decals are needed. They're done. Same with the Sparrow missiles. It's just a landing gear. It's painting, weathering, and something doing to those burner cans. I'm not sure what to do to it yet, but I just want to make them a little bit different. So some sort of wash. I don't know what to do. Whether just add like a black oil wash or something on there. I do like the way they look. They just look a little bit too clean, so they need dirtying up a little bit. But I'll think about that over the next week or so. Won't be long until the next part of this is done because I haven't got that much to do. The next video won't be that long at all, I don't think. And I would have got it in today if this one hadn't been so long, because I think we're over 45 minutes now quite easily. I would have done today. But as you can see, I'm well impressed how this looks. The weathering is just right for me. I don't like overloaded aircraft, but I did want this to have some weathering on there, and to me that's about right. Absolutely love it. So brilliant. So there you go, that's us for today. Bit of a mishmash at the end where I've added bits and deleted bits where I've talked, because I do tend to waffle at times, as you probably noticed. So yeah, that's us for today. I'll be back very soon. I won't leave it long at all because I'm eager to get this finished with the next part 9, are we? And we get it all wrapped up, and then we can start on a new project, probably in the new year. I'm going to pick probably a piece of modern armour, I'm thinking. Either Tammier's Tyrant 5 or Trumpeter's T90. Not sure which one yet, I'll decide, have a think. Like I say, I'm not going to start that till the new year, so get Christmas out of the way, blah blah blah. And that's it. So thanks for watching. So it's been a huge delay, like I said about probably 3 times in this video, because it was spread over several weeks and days. I'll catch you guys around, see you on the forum, and thanks for watching, so take care, bye bye.